If Sunday is the Lord's Day, then that man is smiling very fondly upon the town of Blacksburg, Virginia. Because although here at ACC Uprising we cover every school, with what's going on at Virginia Tech, this is starting to feel like a channel for the Hokies. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ACC Uprising. In this video, we're here to recap and go over a very memorable Sunday for Virginia Tech. As if they haven't already been dominating the transfer portal. According to On3, they have the number 3 class in the entire country. This Sunday was one that will not be forgotten in Virginia Tech for a long time. And depending on how the next couple of seasons go, maybe ever. So here at ACC Uprising, as I mentioned, and as you all know, we are committed to covering every single team across the conference. However, where there's news, there's news. And unfortunately, if you're fans of other teams, maybe not unfortunately, it's always good to be in tune with what's going on with your rivals. But there's just a lot of news happening in Virginia Tech right now. And in this video, we're going to go over a historic Sunday where they landed 5 commitments and got another one confirmed. All very important, impactful players to this roster. There's a lot going on down there, and there's a lot to be excited about if you are wearing the maroon and orange. So, in this video, guys, we're going to jump into that. Before we get there, make sure that you do hit the like button if you are enjoying the content. Hokies fans, I asked you before if it was time to start jumping. I think I got my answer now. But nonetheless, go to the comment section. Let me know how you're feeling. And subscribe if you're new around here. Like I said, even if you're not a Virginia Tech fan, you see the content, you see the frequency it's coming to the channel. Your team might be next. So hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out. All right, let's get this thing started. 5 commitments, and one commitment everybody knew was coming, just had to wait, and it was eventually confirmed. Quite an incredible day for Virginia Tech. Offensive linemen, edge rushers, a former 5-star skill position player, just everything that you could possibly ask for when you're building out your roster after a 3-9 season, which got your head coach fired. You bring in James Franklin, the promises of being a culture builder, a program builder, and he's done his part. He flipped the majority of his Penn State class, got some other talented kids out of high school. He'd done well for himself in the portal so far. You got a quarterback, Bryce Baker, former 4-star, former top 100 recruit out of North Carolina the other day. And then you just drop this bomb of a Sunday on all the fans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these players one by one, and then I'm just going to give you my big takeaways on how James Franklin is building this roster. So let's start this off with Michael Troutman III, an interior offensive lineman making his way over from Penn State. A freshman, a former 3-star recruit. He's 6'2", 293 pounds. Now, at the very least, he's athletic and he adds more beef. But one thing that I really like about this is he's an interior offensive lineman. You look at the way Franklin has approached his recruiting, high school and the portal at Virginia Tech, and it has been heavy offensive line. I believe they're up to, I'm trying to count, I had this written down, they're up to 10 or 11 offensive line commitments now at this point, but there's only a couple of those that are specialists on the interior. And of course, you can move some tackles, you can take some tackles and kick them inside to guard, but having people who can play those guard spots or even play center, that is important because as much as we like to talk about the offensive tackles getting drafted early in the first round and making all the big money in the NFL, the interior of your offensive line, the nose tackle has the shortest path to the quarterback. And whoever's playing the 3 tech has a shorter path than the guy out at a wide 9. So you need, it's like the tip of the spear. You need your interior to be solid. And Michael Troutman is coming to reinforce that for the Hokies. Another Penn State guy. We got 3 of them today. Cortez Harris. 3 of them on Sunday, I should say. Cortez Harris, an edge rusher. Now, he's coming in as a sophomore, a former 4-star recruit, 6'3", 245 pounds. You can never have too much pass rushing juice. And look, with Kamarian Morgan coming over, and Javion Hilson, Morgan from Baylor, and Hilson from Mizzou, the Hokies got those high potential guys. But sometimes you get those borderline 5 stars, high 4 stars, and sometimes you're depending on boom or bust. They've got all the athletic potential in the world and they don't put it together. I'm not saying that applies to those kids. I'm saying we don't know because we haven't really seen them on the field. Cortez Harris is another former 4-star recruit, and having spent a year with Franklin, he comes in and gives you continuity and familiarity with that coach, but having adjusted to the college lifestyle for a year and just stockpiling the talent at one of the most premium positions on the field. Speaking of the defensive line, let's talk about Eric Mensah, an interior defensive lineman, defensive tackle from Ohio State. He's a sophomore, former 3-star recruit, 6'2", 302 pounds, battled injuries that limited his availability last year, but you're hoping that he's able to get past that, get back on the field, be in good shape by the time it's ready to go at the start of the season. Here's the thing. Mensah was going to be competing for a starting spot on Ohio State's defensive line next season. Now, there's no guarantee that he would have won it, but he would have been in that battle. And when you just think about the guys, Mylachi Williams and Caden McDonald, you think about the guys that have been there recently, you think about how dominant these Ohio State defenses have been, and you're telling me that this guy was going to be in contention to start on it, knowing all the talent they have, knowing the coaching they have, knowing they won the national championship game a year ago. They might have flamed out early in the bracket this year, but I believe they were favored to win it all. Either they were first or second. So that's what he's coming from, and he's bringing that over to Virginia Tech. Obviously, he's going to be right in the middle of that competition to get on the field very early in his Virginia Tech career. And again, it's a sophomore. It's a guy who comes in with lots of eligibility. This is not a one-year mercenary. This is someone you build with. Another one of those guys, Mylachi Williams, another edge from Penn State. Sophomore, no surprise there, former 4-star recruit. 6'3", 248 pounds. He played a little bit last year. You look at his PFF grades, they'll say that he was about average. Considering his youth, considering the limited playing time, you'll take that. He obviously has the opportunity to earn a lot more reps at Virginia Tech because of just where the roster is. Franklin has stockpiled these young guys, and he's breeding competition, saying, you all got talent. Only 2 of you can be out on the field on a given play. So who's it going to be? Go show it to me. But he's got the talent. He comes over, having been with Franklin. Just another really solid pickup for the Hokies. And Ethan Calloway, an offensive tackle from LSU. He's a senior, which is a rarity. I believe this is only the second one that Franklin has picked up. I believe it's only the second one, along with their cornerback from Troy, whose name is escaping me. Jaquez White, I believe the name. But Ethan Calloway, he's a senior, a former 4-star recruit, and the number 20 tackle in his high school recruiting class. 6'7", 305 pounds. Played in 1 game in 2024, none this year, so he's got experience. Maybe not recently. He's not coming in with game freshness, but he's coming in with superior size, having trained in an SEC program, and again, a former top 20 tackle in his recruiting class. So walking away from this, we look at interior offensive lineman, edge rusher, defensive lineman, edge rusher, offensive tackle. All people at the point of attack. And what I'm going to say about Franklin is I'm just so impressed with how he is fortifying the offensive and defensive lines. Look at what Miami is doing right now. A Miami team that people weren't sure was going to make the college football playoff bracket. ACC can never hold up with the physical play of the SEC or the Big Ten, right? So what happens? Oh, they go to College Station and they toss a Texas A&M defense people thought might have the best defense in the country. They toss them around at the point of attack. They completely take over and just obliterate Texas A&M's offensive line. They get to the next round against the defending champions, who people thought were the most physical team in the country. They move them out of the way, steamroll right past them, and then they beat an SEC team, and the score was close, but Miami thoroughly outplayed Ole Miss, and a big part of that was they were winning the point of attack on every snap. So I don't think Franklin is he's forming his strategy purely off of that, but I'm sure he's watching the game somewhere. I'm sure he's saying, hey, James. I'm sure one of his assistants is saying, hey, James, did you catch the game last night? The most physical team is still winning football games. We can have innovations with schematics, and the transfer portal is going to open up, and NIL is going to be here. But one thing that's the same thing today as it was in 1940 is if you're bigger and stronger than the guy lining up across from you, you're going to move him out of the way, and that's going to make it a lot easier for you to lead your team to success. So you bury that with most of these players being young, freshmen, sophomores, juniors even, but guys with multiple years of eligibility. And James Franklin is doing such a good job of building this program. Now, on that note, the most exciting news of the day, Luke Reynolds makes it official. a former 5-star tight end. He's coming in as a junior. He was the number 29 player and the number 1 tight end in his class, according to 247 Sports. This had been rumored for a long time, not even rumored. It had been pretty much a done deal, but they finally announced it. It is official. He's coming in at 6'4", 250 pounds. He had 26 catches and 257 yards last year. Hokies fans, you're going to love this. He also had 2 carries last year. Tight ends getting carries, which is not something you should ignore. So is this going to be your Tyler Warren regen? Teaming him up with Matt Henderson, who's another young guy with a lot of potential, and you got Gosnell returning as a veteran to that position room. Are the Hokies becoming TEU? Are they the new tight end university? I don't know, but the way that, again, Franklin is building this program, I'm just so impressed. Lots of young guys that need to develop, but then the place where it matters the most, arguably, where the people closest to the football when it's snapped, size, strength, depth, that's where we add the experience if we need it. It's so cool to watch this roster come together. So, Virginia Tech fans, if you are watching this, what are your thoughts? Leave them down in the comment section below. Like this video if you did enjoy. To everyone else, again, this is not purely a Virginia Tech channel. We go where the news takes us. And it's down in Blacksburg right now, and it's exciting. But whether you are a fan of VT or anyone else, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you all being here at ACC Uprising, rocking out with us. We'll catch you in the next one.